Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about something that's a huge hurdle for pretty much every new English learner: how to speak with actual confidence. We're going to break down how you can get past that fear and just start talking, one easy step at a time. You ready? Let's do this.
So let's just be real for a second. Does this question hit home for you? When it's your turn to talk, do you get that nervous feeling, that little knot in your stomach? Well, guess what? You are definitely not alone. This is where almost everybody starts.
And here is the absolute first thing you need to know. Feeling that way is completely normal. I'm serious. Every single person who has ever learned a new language has felt exactly like this. So that feeling is normal, but the trick is not letting it stop you. That's rule number one.
So, what is this fear really all about? I mean, when you dig deep, it almost always comes down to one single thing: the fear of making mistakes. This can be the biggest wall that stops people from even trying. But what if we looked at it a totally different way? This is where we need to kind of, flip the script in our heads. Forgetting a word isn't a failure. It's actually proof that you're learning. Think about it like this. Every little mistake is your brain building new connections, getting stronger. It's a necessary part of the process, not something to be embarrassed about. So, how do you actually start to get past that fear and build those connections? Well, you don't need to block out hours and hours to study. Nope. You just need to know a little secret, and it's all about being consistent. It's a small change that builds a really powerful habit. That's the number, just 10 minutes. See, your brain learns way better with short, repeated practice, not these long, draining study sessions. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is just to practice every day. 10 minutes of speaking English every single day is really all it takes to build momentum and real confidence. Okay, so you've got your 10 minutes a day. Awesome. But what in the world are you supposed to say? This brings us to our next big strategy: using the power of simplicity. Just remember, the goal isn't to sound like some fancy professor. It's just to communicate. This slide shows it perfectly, right? Trying to build these long, complicated sentences when you're just starting out, it's just a recipe for stress. But look over on the right. I wake up at 7. I drink tea. I go to work. They're simple, they're clear, and they're correct. This is how you build a solid foundation, brick by brick. So just remember, when you keep your sentences short, you get two massive benefits. One, they're so much easier for you to say without getting nervous or tripping over your words. And two, they're way easier for the person you're talking to understand. It's a total win-win. Now, I know this all sounds good, but you're probably wondering, does it actually work in the real world? Well, let me tell you a quick story about someone named Ravi that shows you exactly how this whole method can totally change your confidence. So, meet Ravi. He really wanted to learn English, but just like a lot of us, he was incredibly shy. That fear of making a mistake just kept him quiet. Sound familiar at all? So let's look at his journey. He started out afraid, right? But then he made one simple choice. He promised himself he'd do those 10 minutes of practice every day, using only short, simple sentences. And the result? After just 3 months of doing this, he wasn't the shy boy anymore. He was confident. And this is the most important part of Ravi's story. There was no magic here. He just followed a simple plan: daily practice with short sentences. And if he can do it, I absolutely promise you, you can do it too. So, feeling a little inspired by Ravi? Let's stop just talking about it and actually take our first steps together, right here, right now. It's time to put these ideas into action. Okay, so let's try something. I'm gonna say 3 really powerful sentences, and I want you to repeat them out loud after me, wherever you are. I know it might feel a bit strange, but just try it. This is your very first practice session, and it starts now. Ready? All right, first one is, I can speak English. Go ahead, say it one more time. I can speak English. You gotta feel those words. This is where your confidence begins. Great. Okay, the next one is about the process. I am improving every day. Your turn. This reminds you that it's a journey, not a final exam. Every single word you speak is progress. And finally, this is the one that powers everything else. Say this one like you mean it. I believe in myself. Because that belief, that's the fuel that's gonna keep you going. You just did it. You spoke. You took that first and honestly the hardest step. And that brings us to the last most important question. You proved you could do it today. So what?